When was it you lost trust in the media, or if even if you have lost trust in the media, do you think like what made you lose trust in the media? That's what it was, wasn't it?
Even if you ever trusted the media or even your parents,
Aye.
I mean, depends on the ages.
Aye.
But we were saying we don't even know what they've been like when we were growing up, but it's always been like that. You know what I mean, and we imagine it probably was. And we were saying, would you think the purpose is for them to do that? Fear pushing.
I think when we were young, when like it was only just like maybe the channel one news or ITV news, everybody just watched it. And you just believed it, didn't you?
Definitely.
But now with the internet and all the rise of all these kind of independent media, it's kind of changed everybody's opinion.
Definitely. That's the go-to.
A lot of people are starting to look at the normal telly media and go, I don't believe that crap anymore.
Especially if you look at them, if you watch say TV media and then go into YouTube media, compare the stories. There's no way they're lining up. So you were saying it's more fear pushing or agenda pushing. TV media. Everybody kind of goes to YouTube nowadays. I know I do, and you do. Political or war or anything like that.
X is really a big one as well, isn't it?
Definitely.
A lot of people go on there.
Well, you heard Tommy Robinson talking about that. If it wasn't for X, nobody would have known his story.
That documentary they tried to cover up. Crazy, isn't it?
Especially when he really stern done that interview that when he came out of prison, it says it hit 167 million, or give or take. That blew my mind, man, because nobody would have known about that on TV media. Just know about that.
Watched a few of his stories, man. They're interesting.
Telling us
with the way they're trying to shut him down just because he's telling the truth. That's crazy. You never ever thought that would happen here.
No.
You know,
freedom of speech gone and stuff.
You always thought that this was like a free speech country, but now you're starting to realise it's no. It's only you're only allowed to say what they want.
Or you're getting in jail for a tweet.
What you're allowed to say, kind of.
I might be getting her name wrong. Lucy Connolly or something. I could mention much about that. To get the jail for a tweet is unbelievable, and we were talking about
especially
other things happening,
especially some of the things that
the R word to kids and stuff like that, and they don't really do much to these certain type of people.
It's ridiculous. Threw her in jail for 31 months.
That's a tweet.
I don't think she's got any previous or anything like that. And just
mother with kids.
Flogged straight into jail for a tweet that she deleted 4 years later.
Your own personal opinion to that's what's crazy about it, you know what I mean? Obviously the things she says, they're saying it would cite rights and stuff like that. We're not saying that that's right, but it's your own opinion. I mean, that's like saying go to jail you for the thoughts you're having in your head. I mean, you've not acted on anything.
It's just and it was obviously at the time when obviously the thing that happened with was it the Southport thing?
Southport thing.
So obviously people were angry. But she's got to have a wee bit of hanging for that.
Aye, and sure they should have been.
I know.
I mean, especially the way again media lying, covering it up. No. And then but even the judge was willing to let that boy's name go. So
that's crazy, man.
Especially with it involved. That there should have been should have your opinions in that. You know what I mean? I know it's aimed at certain type of people and not saying all the people are bad. But to get jailed for an tweet. I mean, that's insane, mate. And even us, we have to watch, or any other YouTubers, need to watch what they're saying online. I mean, sometimes you're beating around the bush.
Barely just to talk freely.
I mean,
that's the thing about the free speech disappearing now, because there's so much internet. That's all they can do now is they can't, because there's so much media. Like they've not got the monopoly on the mainstream media, so the only way they can counteract that is to shut down speech online.
Censor it, can I?
So people don't want to say things in case they get in trouble and stuff.
It's like a mass, what do you call it? A mass gag order.
I
Innit,
don't know.
man? It's just like, can you say anything or have any opinions on certain situations, especially in your own country? You should be able to talk about stuff like that. Or if it's like that lassie, if it was close to her, or her knowing somebody that was involved, why not have an opinion on it? You know what I mean? It'd be like us talking about, or when I stayed from Stirling, the Dunblane thing, you know what I mean? Can't really see what happened there with the school and stuff like that. But that would be like me, maybe years later, saying, oh, my school was just a line for that. I should be able to have an opinion on it because I've seen the reaction in my school with the other school was going through something.
And getting shut down for it.
Shut down, I mean, or posts coming to the door or whatever, arrested for a stupid comment. I mean, and then you've got things like in at Bellamina in Ireland when stuff are happening. Certain people there, I think his name's Freedom Father or something like that. Even he's saying stuff, and they're getting labelled like terrorist or fascist or racist and stuff like that.
It only works one way with that, and there's no like far left. It's always the far right or far right this, far right that. It's not like the only people talking.
It's not. It was a community thing too. It wasn't about race or religion or anything like that. It was just a community thing. Everyone getting together and voicing their opinions.
No wanting that carry on and on their doorstep.
You know what I mean? It's not that. They wouldn't start that stuff and people just started saying what they wanted online. You know what I mean? They would need to open up, build a full new jail.
No.
You know what I mean? And have the jail for just jailing people for YouTube and X.
And just let everybody else do it.
Mental, mate.
So do you think when we were younger it was still controlled like that? Like the media? We just didn't know?
As we were saying downstairs, it's not exactly we were kind of watching that when we were young, and that's how it was like, be interesting to ask maybe like John or my mum and stuff, like what the media was like then, or maybe if you could find stuff on YouTube, what the 90s kind of TV was like.
I don't think you would have noticed, didn't you? Because there was no alternative, there was no other. So people just thought, oh, it's terrible what they're doing, that kind of stuff.
And now it's kind of out in the open with the likes of YouTube and the internet, you're kind of knowing that there was stuff that I've seen about the Operation Mockingbird and stuff like that.
It was an actual thing.
Controls the media. So we wouldn't even have known that back then, even if we were old enough to watch it and understand. We'd be like, that's all true, that stuff. But then with the access to internet, you can go and check. Well, that never really happened the way they're saying.
I've only put the facts in and they want you to, the thing you don't like to kind of steer your thoughts in a certain direction.
Definitely.
Get support for the public. That's what it kind of is.
The controlled media. Definitely like a controlled media. I've seen you like the CIA bought like journalists and implemented them in both agencies. They're saying it's like a spy. You know what I mean? In the camp or a double agent.
It's like the BBC, when you see like the BBC News on, it's always on like that at night. If it's on, like I just don't believe it. They say anymore. Just think like, and then they're harassing people for like TV licenses and stuff like that to pay for it. So you're fine to get brainwashed.
It's like you go to jail for not paying your TV licence and stuff.
You better pay for your own brainwashing, or else.
You're going to prison. I ain't thought that. It's not like the BBC, I know. Who did they talk? Stuff they had. Old Jay Savo and stuff like that.
The big beastie channel.
Definitely, man. Especially stuff they push. We were saying like we seen like compilations of them, like about reading through scripts and stuff like that. Just seen a minute ago, like the Twin Towers, there was a tragedy, but you've seen the pure pushing it on all channels, and then thank God for YouTube, you can watch the compilations with all the words match up together. You know what I mean?
Like they print the script off and send it with all the same things. Just read the same stuff.
How they were pushing it.
I always wonder how the actual journalists themselves can do that if they knew stuff wasn't true. They're supposed to be like journalists. They're supposed
independent.
they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be the
Freedom
ones.
thinkers and investigate.
Really, they're just actors.
Aye.
Most of them. Well, obviously, they're not all like that, but the ones that you see sitting, the anchors that are on normal telly, they're just actors.
Definitely.
Just reading off a script.
You know what I mean?
I don't think anybody believes them anyway.
Shouldn't he, man? No. Especially when it comes to like serious topics when you want the facts and the proof. You know what I mean? And like the generation's probably a way above us. They're not exactly sitting on YouTube.
No.
You know what I mean?
They probably still sitting
and watch
10 o'clock news and stuff like that and getting their information from there.
We were saying like our gran and our nanas and stuff like that. They would sit and watch it at 6 o'clock and then they'd be back on at 10 o'clock news.
It's that
hanging it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon news as well, isn't it?
It's that hanging the cable guy. It's your brainwashing everybody.
Oh no,
is it the cable guy?
No, Batman Forever.
Batman Forever.
Sucks them.
No, Stern.
Aye, the Riddler. That's what it is, right? Yeah, be good to implement that in like a wee shot or something. You know what I mean, like local media.
Just fucking like with the BBC sign on it, on everybody just staring at it.
Pure something. No, that's like a good example, mate. Right. I wonder what the people like in their countries, what their news is like. Because obviously we see viewers from Mexico, Israel, Jerusalem, Canada. I wonder what their media would have been like. Obviously similar to ours. You know what I mean?
I think Canada's worse than like
us.
Right. I think they're like totally like state controlled. Like see like the way the BBC is, but like all
channels,
all even the internet.
Right. Is it? Aye.
Yeah.
That's mental, isn't it?
Aye.
But you can even trust the internet.
No. I think I don't know how it works, but I remember watching a thing about it saying it's totally state controlled.
That's crazy, man.
I know.
Aye, so if there's any, even like you tell people to leave their opinions in the comments and tell us what your media was like, or
when you lost trust, what was it? A lot of people it was COVID.
Aye.
Like see all that like shutting down the people that were talking out against the vaccine
and stuff,
or the whole like things they used to come out with like
came for a bat and stuff like that. Wasn't lab leaks
saying that the vaccines stop transmission and then never and then
I didn't even thought of that. It's probably a lot of people would have.
They kind of woke up to
probably definitely your generations and maybe the ones under us as well. Definitely. I wouldn't even thought of that. We were saying when ours was, no, and I was saying you. What's I'm saying here? Like the school shooting thing, or I thought it was like an LGBT nightclub or something. It was like crisis actors and stuff like that. That opened me up to it. What the hell's a crisis actor? And then I started looking into it. They're just again there to push.
Push a certain
agenda, especially when they were saying that it was like terrorist related, and then it came out it wasn't. It was just a guy, like a white person.
They were trying to use it to get to push a certain thing. For me, it was more watching the Trump election there. Because I said I never watched politics or anything like that, but I was kind of following along with the thingies, and the more I watched kind of stories about Trump and what they were trying to do to him, kind of out of the election. And then it was like it was every news channel I seen, like or the normal news channels like BBC or anyone was all saying the same stuff. And like obviously I'd been watching more YouTube, so I seen other people talking about how it's a lot of crap. And but even when I was flicking on the laptop, the news bit, I think it was always bad stuff. Always, it's as if it's trying to push you in a certain way to think about Trump himself. I remember thinking, why are they saying all that all the time? Why is all the stories the same? It just kind of opened my eyes to know them.
It's not that for them doing that, as you said, it opened your eyes. You started looking into it and going, there's something to this here. I wonder if a few other people would have been like that. Was that the first election?
No, just that one.
The second one.
Right. Obviously before we didn't follow it.
No politics and stuff.
Even during COVID, I still watched like the normal news to see what's happening. Like obviously, none of us got like the vaccine or anything like that, but. That wasn't because of the news, or I didn't trust the news.
Just I
just didn't believe the fact that we had to go and get a vaccine for a cold.
No, same. I believe my body would
Aye.
beat it, and I was running about people that had it.
Aye.
I think I caught it once, and I was fine. I just had that kind of hang me throat.
No, I was
Eh,
thinking, I just didn't believe
Aye.
that I needed it, so it was nothing to do with the news, but
Right. It was just your own free thinking.
Aye.
Kind of.
so I remember all the thingies, all the like adverts and all the news channels saying, "Oh, you need the vaccine for this," but I just never ever believed it.
Nah.
No, because I didn't trust them, just because I didn't.
Aye. It's not. It's how fast they pushed it out. I know. It's saying, oh, the gap in shops. Remember when we went into local shops that had the arrows where you had to stand?
Aye.
Masks this, masks that. Don't touch here. Wash this stuff like that. It's like that's heavy pushed, man. And I think they didn't even do that. What was the one before that? Like swine flu or SARS or something like that. I mean, I can't remember anything as big as that. Could be wrong. I mean, maybe it just never hit the world like the way C19 hit. Right?
I remember thinking the one that was when they were saying that you could, when you were kind of allowed back out again, and they were saying that you could go out for a meal, you had to wear a mask to go in, sit at your table, take the mask off your food, and then when you get up to go to the toilet, you put it back on. I remember thinking, how does that even make sense?
I know, eating like that under a mask, man.
As if that even helps.
No, it's not. You still see people to this day, like maybe if you're going to work or something like that, we see people still in a car themselves with a mask on, and like, what the hell is that? I can remember getting in a taxi and it being like that and going, what's this guy got a mask on for? And it's got the wee shield thing behind it. It's like, what's happening here? Guy's a germaphobe. You know what I mean? Somebody, you know, Wilson.
If you're panicking and waiting outside.
Aye, but as I say, I can't remember that being like the way SARS and stuff like that. I don't know if that's what I'm sure it's called. And swine flu and stuff. Or bird flu or something like that.
What was the one with the animals?
Foot and mouth.
Aye, I remember
Foot
that.
and mouth, aye. Aye, because you could, I can remember if you went walks, you would see signs on the side of it if you're going up like a cycle path and it's near a farm. You know,
I remember
wipe your feet, make sure you don't go into the fields and stuff like that.
I remember when we worked up the kind of Drimmen, right? We used to cut up to do this kind of farmhouse. It was a way you had to go up that dirt road, and we were driving, like, got to a gate, and there was guys with suits.
Right, spraying your feet.
Spraying all the hang of the motor and stuff like that.
I'd heard it.
But no, it was nothing like that if you're the whole country shut down, can't even do it.
I think we all, especially how fast it travelled the world, I think we all kind of knew like, the way it definitely came through Wuhan and stuff like that. The lab leak just made well more sense, and it's how much they were pushing it into your face and not never. The more they were pushing it, we're going, no, it just makes sense. Didn't they just come for the market, cut a mile down the road?
No.
You know what I mean? They jumped for a bat to this, to that.
And it was all the boosters that you had to get and all, like, God,
I remember always going for stuff like that, and it's like, you're mental.
No, why do you need to keep going?
Mental, man. Especially when you're saying that it doesn't stop the trans.
They lied about that first though. It says it did stop.
Stop it.
So you couldn't get
transmit
somebody
or
else.
something.
You couldn't get somebody else. So that's what they were trying to say. Even though if you think you're fit enough to beat it yourself, you still can't pass it on. But then it came out that was a lie. It didn't stop that at all. So people were just getting it for no reason.
I think it was to lower maybe population control. Especially when I was seeing with that Bill Gates thing. He says, we need to get rid of something like so many billion people. You know what I mean? So the elites can live fresh.
Sometimes I think that these ones at the top are just like just wanted to have a bit of fun.
Fun testers,
the hamster wheel.
The way they test like stuff and that on mice and stuff.
Let's see how they react when we shut down all their jobs. Let's see keep it along. We can keep it going.
Make them stand this far apart.
And they're all chuckling.
Definitely sitting at the round table up there, like, what can we do here to infect the great unwashed?
The great unwashed. see how long they last if it's going to work. No, all get bets with each other.
Especially with the guys that I could be getting his name wrong again here. I'm butchering some stuff here. Is it David Fauci? Is it Fauci or something like that? You just get pardoned. Supposedly
Anthony Fauci.
Is it Anthony Fauci? He's involved in so many stuff, isn't he, man?
He should be getting the thingy for that.
I'm sure he does something years and years ago connected to AIDS and stuff like that, mate. I'm sure I heard it on Joe Rogan.
Aye.
Aye.
I've never heard that. I don't know much about that, I gotta be honest. I've never really.
Next time I'll clear that up just in case I get the facts right, but I'm sure not 100% allegedly, I'm sure he's got something, he not created, but he was messing about with it, on a certain race of people.
Aye.
Oh.
Aye, I've never seen read that. Aye.
I'm sure his name's Fauci or something like that. I think it might be right. Fauci. I don't know, I get David Fauci.
So do you get?
But I'll clear that up the next time I'm on.
Do you think the normal media's lost?
Definitely.
Like, no, I don't mean like lost as in it'll
never come back. Like get his trust back.
It'll disappear.
I think eventually.
Or do you think they'll just transition into internet media?
Possible. I was saying to you about GBN News. I heard a few people talking about on YouTube that there's maybe a corporation buying that GBN News, and that's a good channel. I slightly trust some of their stuff.
Kind of ones, especially about like immigration and stuff. You can tell they're kind of against that.
Definitely. And I think the other boy, the other guy's Daniel Wooten or something. I might be. You know what I'm talking about? It used to be on like Good Morning.
I think I know what you're on about.
I don't really know.
There's a lot of Tommy Robson stuff.
I don't know where to trust him, but he seems quite honest. No, I don't know if he's got he's controlled either. But he seems to be a lot of his content seems like it's alright. You're saying like Tommy Robson. I've seen a few other things like the Madam McCann thing and stuff, but he seems kind of trustable, like GBN News and stuff like that.
Even that like way of thinking that you just thought there is the point, but in it, because you're already thinking, is he hanging? Well, it never used to be like that.
No way.
You used to just believe the guys on the telly.
Then we were talking about Martin Bashir and stuff. He's a good dude. He seems alright. Diana interview and all that. That's the talking point. Yeah,
it's the fact that everybody's starting to go, I don't know about that guy, I don't know about this guy. New into it, like it's kind of hard to come back to that.
Aye, definitely, and I think you're right. I think they will seep into YouTube, whatever the next big thing is. They'll definitely get their claws into it. Again, like the Operation Mockingbird. If you don't know much about that, just Google it and you can get your own facts instead of me butchering it. That's what they were there for in the 50s and 60s. Get into agencies, change public opinion.
Can I tell them what to say? Push the certain direction that they want the public to think, to kind of maybe build support for a certain situation.
Especially war situations. The Soviet Union.
That wasn't it at the time.
Definitely.
If they found out that worked, why would they stop?
I know, and that's the thing. They says they were honest about saying that it continued for decades and they stopped in the 70s, but there's theory out there it's still there, and you can see it. I mean, if you know what you're looking for and read the facts, you can see it
on the news that you're watching. When they're pushing for certain things,
especially war, mate.
It's mental.
And like if you're starting to go against your own government, I think that's what it was used for as well. The things I wrote down, it says anything was going against the US government, they would try and push some sort of pro-propaganda to make the government seem better, and then it seeped into form media and stuff.
Counteract it, get build support for what they wanted,
probably the kind of thing maybe you're saying about Canada and stuff like that. To control that, to have that much power and control that stuff, like that's, again, freedom of speech or like freedom of information and stuff, it shouldn't be censored unless it's like something that's detrimental to your government and your country, like nuclear codes and stuff like that. Obviously that's way different, but just normal facts, you know what I mean?
People should be able to form their own opinion, like without seeing certain side of the argument. If you're only getting one set of thing, the other one shut down, how are you supposed to make a right decision?
Definitely.
How's anybody supposed to make a right decision?
Passed on one way, innit? It'd be interesting to see if there's any comments later on, what they say. And hopefully you stay comments. I'd like to know what's happening in other countries, like what your media is like, or even your own government, what they're pushing, what they're telling you on war or on the COVID.
It's always one way, or is it, can you tell they're pushing something on you, or do you still believe it?
Definitely. And it's like I know again, like Tommy Robson definitely opens you up to all that, doesn't he? No, he's English, you're Scottish. It's not the day with that. It's what's happening in our countries. You know what I mean? Again, community culture thing.
Especially that panorama thing where they tried to frame him. Oh, that was crazy. I watched that documentary. That was crazy where they tried to date him. Oh, and they're no shame. Oh, just try to destroy his life, make them out to be some sort of horrible person, and just no remorse. Oh, it's pure evil.
Panorama's like an investigating company.
It's a big one of the biggest BBC documentaries, like trusted at the time.
Expose stuff in that, and you're thinking for the greater good.
And really they're just, again, they get what they want and push a certain way. If they don't like somebody, they'll just try and destroy it, and it doesn't matter if it's true or not.
And pay people as well, don't they? Pay people who taking to say certain things against the person. And again, it was a massive thing that people trusted in Britain. I don't know if it's our country's panorama. No, they might investigate in other countries, pushing things. But it was well trusted in the country.
Good the way he flipped it round on them.
Brilliant. I need to watch it myself. So maybe talk about it one day.
It was good. It was like kind of caught them saying all the things they were accusing him of being. They caught this news anchor, or the guy was going to be like conducting the panorama, and caught him saying it all, like all the kind of things that were attacking him. It was crazy how
his own footage and that.
His own footage.
That's class, man.
It'd be so embarrassing for him.
Deserves it, man.
Deserves it if he's willing to do that.
Because he's doing the rounds on a few big platforms, isn't he, Tommy?
He was doing a big free speech rally down in London in is it September?
7th or something. I think
he's got leaders for all over Europe.
Well, he mentioned MAGA. Some people was involved in MAGA and stuff like that. It'd be good to have, if you could go to a place like that, or if you've done one maybe in Scotland, be good to just turn up and see what it's like, man, and maybe get a few people's opinions and stuff like that. Especially if it's to build your wee channel up there, to interview people. Quite intimidating, but again, it's putting yourself in a position, innit? Testing yourself. But I would like to do something like that.
Just go down and see.
So I was saying, like the homeless and stuff, I would like to do stuff like that. Especially, you see up Glasgow.
It's a big thing in Scotland.
Yeah, especially with the immigration and that, like getting places in our own people are starving on the streets, and probably the same in your countries and stuff like that.
Especially when we've kind of had our own kind of experience
of homelessness
with that kind of stuff. A bit more hit and hangy for us, isn't it?
Aye, hit swing for us. Because we were in the streets at a very young age. You know what I mean? Maybe get into that ways one day and tell us about our lifestyle and what we came through nothing. You know what I mean? Probably a good wee segue into us, you know what I mean?
Where we came from.
That way they're coming on the journey ways, innit? With the podcast, and we could talk about that, but we just want to do that. Nobody spoke about it. But we could go into more detail with mental health, homelessness, stuff like that. While we were living, man. Some bits were fun, some were...
I wouldn't change it.
No way.
That's one thing I wouldn't change. Like, I always remember my uncle asking me that when we were up there swallowing room, and I was talking about it, and he asked me if I would change it. And I remember thinking about it for a second and says no.
Made the say you are, mate.
Kind of mould you into
it.
And then when you think back to it, you always kind of think, well, if I can deal with that, then
deal with a lot of things.
Whereas if you came up nicey, never a problem, would you really be able to take on things if some crazy thing happened?
You would struggle a bit, I think.
That's the way to look
at it. Turned you into a man at an early age, didn't it? Early age. We probably thought we were young men.
I don't know.
But I know it definitely helped us, as you say, moulded us, definitely, man.
Probably both ways. Probably like kind of helped us get a bit more, showing you what life's really like. And then the other side, that we maybe didn't have any guidance to kind of going where we could have went when you kind of adults or anything like that, kind of steer you in that right direction. You're going to have to read a bit.
He says that, it's probably one thing it was missing was a bit of guidance to say, look, how much energy you're putting into that, put into this, you know what I mean? I don't mean the podcast, but into something else in life. I would definitely I would guide, especially at 14, 15,
I know.
to be staying in streets, mate. I
I
look at my own boy and go, God, he's 18, he'd struggle on the streets at
know.
14.
I'm the same.
You know what I
I
mean?
know.
Not said that kind of different way of living now, but back then it was rough, man.
I
You know what
know.
I mean? It was rough.
It's mad how it just didn't took it in the chin.
Mhm.
And didn't even really, didn't have phases at
Phases,
that time.
no way. And it's helped because there was a few of us in that position.
Aye.
You know? But I would we'll maybe tap into that one day for you.
Aye.
Maybe the upcoming couple of weeks or something. You know?
Aye, see, going into a bit more detail.
We're looking to maybe get a good few videos out. Go get some ideas and we're going to write them down and
Maybe make a bit of schedule.
schedule and start putting out content.
As you know, we're still kind of new, so we kind of we kept putting that off there for a wee while, didn't we?
But I hope he's able to come on this journey and beware us, man. We'll finally get there. You know what I mean?
A bit more regular.
But definitely see we're nervous. So I just stick with us and the content hopefully gets better. And we were saying about reactions and stuff. Like these things will come. Some of you like the walks and the hills and stuff. We've got the maybe Wallace Monument, William Wallace, Stirling Castle.
There's a few different. There's another
Aye.
that we could go in Scotland, didn't there?
And again, we're just going to do anything. We're not going to cover just one topic or a couple of topics. We're going to do a lot of different things on the channel and hopefully build it. You know what I mean? Into something that you enjoy. You might not like one episode one week, but the next episode the following week you might really enjoy. Even use tell.
Sorry, there's certain topics that you would like us to talk about. Then you can write it in.
Put it in.
We'll keep the ideas.
Within reason, if it's something we can talk about or something we've got some knowledge on, or use time to get some facts on it.
Go into the organ, you know.
Up there in HMP Greenock, man, or Low Moss.
For a video.
Ballini.
5 years.
Brilliant. Aye. Trying to get back into it, man.
I know. I would definitely try and get a bit more regularly.
Definitely. Mental health one about good one, I think.
Aye.
I'd like to do that. Even like a wee fitness, man. I mean, you like to do your fitness and stuff like that.
I know, see. Maybe do a challenge, you know? Look at
both of us.
challenge.
Look at 30-day challenge or something like that.
Look at something we can do, like there's fitness things you can do. So, like maybe, I can't remember what it was called. It was a certain fitness thing. It's like a
circuit training
the thing you run through, you got to train for it.
Like a gauntlet.
You can look it up and then say this is what we're going to do in 2 months. And you just say it and aim for it and then record us trying to train for it and then doing it.
If you want to see that, put thumbs up in the comments, innit, man? Circuit gauntlet, burn this fat off, man. But there's so many things we can do, especially just as a minute ago, we're not covering just one couple of topics. No, maybe getting that better, mate. You know what I mean? It'll be good to see our first video to see a 20th video.
See the
difference. No? Especially the way we talk and stuff like that. But as what it is, man. Not going to Kevin Bridget and articulate.
We're not changing the way we talk.
No way. Neds.
That's it. Need TV, you say.
Aye.
We're old Neds.
Aye, 40-year-old. Aye, definitely, man. Even the 2-pack one, that'd be a good one. As you were saying at the beginning. Definitely.
Why we kind of like 2-pack and stuff though.
Anything else on the media there? Anything else you want to do?
No, I was kind of covering everything else. I didn't write a lot down, I was just kind of hanging in bits.
So I think what else has been happening in the media? Obviously a lot of Ukraine and Russia stuff, Israel and Iran stuff. It's kind of touchy subject though.
Let's see on the news though that they're saying now that we should be prepared for
World War III.
War on British soil. Did you see that?
No.
Pure Prime Minister for war, isn't they?
I know my missus was saying about conscript, that was called. Where they can take our kids need to fight in the war and stuff like that. Conscription, that's it. Because Kirsty's like, oh, no way, my boy fighting, I'll hide him and stuff like that. It's like, we get dragged out the house.
I like the thing in Ukraine.
No, it's like, nah, none of that, man. Especially fighting a war, really, no, not to do with us. You know what I mean? Why should our kids, or even us,
I think it'd be hard for them to conscript now because a lot of people are just
uprise.
And a lot of people are just unhappy with the way the government are running things. You know, like they're not exactly making the country better, do they?
Aye. No faith in them either. Why should we fight for them?
Nobody believes in them, so it's like you're not going to basically ask for backup and then have people that don't like you.
No. We'd have a civil war, I think. See, try to take people's kids and stuff like that.
People just wouldn't go, don't they?
You'd end up in the army prison, is like a hole or something, the box or something like that.
Probably try and make an example of somebody, like see somebody that didn't go and lift them and give them like 10 years or something and try and scare everybody.
I'd end up with Van Damme, A-Ball.
The guy who was street fighting to earn money.
We're absolutely without leave, man.
You get somebody too easy in that film, don't you? Just jogs away.
Brilliant.
Old 80s movies, they were
classic, mate. Especially when
that was one of the things I wrote down for a topic. Movies, 80s nostalgia and 90s, so the kind of difference between all the movies back then and now.
Especially Van Damme when he fights in Lycra in the swimming pool. Like, what the hell is that about?
Yeah, for that, I know. Even all the army movies were purely over the top, weren't they?
Come on.
Ripping phone boxes at the wall and all that. I don't even think it's got strength in the Terminator.
Takes all the army down with like 50 bullets. His gun just doesn't stop reloading.
Every scene he's got a different gun.
Come on. He throws a grenade and he jumps a wee bit.
Aye. There's about 10 people all blown up. He just throws a pipe through that guy at the end.
Stick around.
Stick around, Bennett.
Stick around.
Those movies are brilliant, aren't they?
Does that in Predator and all, doesn't he, with a big fucking knife?
Like when he hunts the Predator, with all the face paint, starts hunting it.
Aye, we should do nostalgia movies, mate. Definitely.
Predator doesn't know what's happening.
Took on a new beast,
messing with army, man.
We should do a nostalgic movie, mate.
Slaughters the rest
90s,
of the
80s and 90s.
Slaughters the rest of the team easy, and then it gets to him, and he's like, wait a minute, this guy's disappeared.
It's still that, he fires that weapon and it puts holes in people, but he hits Arnie with it on the shoulder. It's a wee cut.
It's just how you graze.
Grabs the gun and goes, get to the chopper.
Run.
Get to the chopper.
Can you imagine Arnie trying to get a partner?
I know, mate.
It's the pure like anti, like what they look for now. Like,
definitely, mate.
Big masculine fucking white kid. Not
can't speak a bit of word English. He's grunting. I think he speaks like, I could be wrong in a minute words. I think it's like either 22 or like 40 something words in Terminator, the full first Terminator. Only speaks a handful of words, man. He was on The View recently. Talking about immigration, it's went viral. I don't really know much about it, but he pure supported it, saying, they opened me with open arms and stuff, didn't he?
Of course, he says, like, obviously they were expecting him to be on their side, but he wasn't.
It's about immigration, though, wasn't it?
Obviously, they got him on because he's
an
immigrant into America, but I think they were expecting him to be on their side and say Donald Trump's bad for doing this and that, but he never. He says that, when you come to this country, you need to respect him. Look what he done it for me.
For him.
The
bodybuilding stuff. I gave him a full governor and that.
And he says that when you're in basically in our country, you need to, it's as if you're in somebody's house. You need to respect it, you can't. And then there was pure wisdom, but they were banning him to say. Fair play to him, but
send him to the cola. Brilliant. He's a great example for it all. Bodybuilder, films, governor. You couldn't ask for any better.
That was what Bill Burr says about him. He couldn't do what he done in 5 lifetimes. If you lived 5 times all the things he achieved. All the things.
All birds good though.
Aye, couldn't do that in 5 like times. Says I go to the gym, nobody cares. He goes to the gym and makes millions.
Aye, millions, man.
Yeah.
I've seen some of his old videos, man. The amount of people used to come to Miami Beach and stuff. I watch him. Unbelievable. Lou Ferrigno and stuff. Guy played the original Hulk.
Aye.
Who's up there? Oh, there's a few good ones. Ronnie Coleman and stuff like that.
Aye.
They bring in some crowds just for a bodybuilder too.
It's pure legendary, isn't he?
Aye. Arnie was like definitely your timeline growing up, man. Aye, the movies, man, would be good. I was talking about the heists as well, remember? In the car, we're talking about maybe famous heists or botched heists.
Aye. Funny ones, funny ones.
Aye, definitely.
So I've been watching that Gold, that's pretty good.
Aye.
Oh, about what was that heist again?
The Gold, the 23 million or
27 million or something for Goldie.
Interesting. Obviously, I was talking about the Millennium Dawn diamond and stuff. It's quite funny, mate. I'll get all the facts before I even do it, but definitely Paul's let him go so far. That's a good one, mate.
Aye, be good to do them, man.
Aye. Does he say we'll write some stuff down?
Aye.
Didn't we?
That's all days, eh?
Aye. How long was that, John? That was an alright wee one. No, I was nervous at first.
Nearly an hour.
Fuck, that's alright, mate. I went quick, didn't it?
Aye.
Just say, hit the thumbs up, comment, subscribe.
Comment below and let us know what you think. When did you stop believing the media, or comment and tell us what you'd like us to talk about, anything at all.
Please hit the thumbs up as well, it helps us with the algorithm, and subscribe if you like it.
Thanks a lot.